Okay, so let's just get out of this. Let's go to root. Now, what I'd like to do is to demonstrate the use of something called SqlMap. So in Kali Linux, SqlMap is built in. I can use it from wherever I want. And one of the things that I need to do is to point it towards the correct place. So I have a URL here that I'd like to point it at. And then I have a variable called ID, which may well be the variable that I'm interested in attempting to inject SQL. It is, because that's what I've just been doing here. What I also need though is I need to grab something called a session ID. So when I logged on to the Damn Vulnerable web app, I was given a session ID, and I need to grab that. And in order to do so, if your Firefox looks different to this, then you will need to go down to Customize, Show Hide Toolbars, and just make sure that the menu bar is being shown. If you go to your add-ons manager and you add something called Tamper Data, once you've done that, if you pick up from the tools Tamper Data, you should then be able to receive, if I can just pull that out, you should then be able to see the information that is being sent. So I have some cookies that are being sent in my get methods to my Apache server. They all are on the same machine, but it's still being sent. And I need to know this PHP session ID in order to make a correct connection to my server as an authenticated user. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build quite a long command, and that is SqlMap, where I want to point SqlMap, which is HTTP, and I just need to find my double quotes. There it is. I need to point it at HTTP 127.0.0.1 /, and I'm just going to make that exactly the same as this command here, so / Damn Vulnerable web app -master / vulnerabilities / SQLI / with a question mark ID equals, let's put a variable of 1 in there, and I have another variable that's being submitted, which is something called submit. So that's what I want to point SqlMap at. I then need to provide accurate cookie information. So my cookie is going to be equal to exactly what we have written here, security equals low, semicolon, space, PHP sesh ID equals, and what I have here, FT7QS3 KQBGAH8 FALSV JIQ 475F3. So that's my cookie information, and what I want, in the same way that I did before, I want to extract the current database that's being used, and I want to extract the current user that is connecting to that database. So let's see if that works. So SqlMap has given me the same information that we previously got, the version of the SQL server. It's given me the user, and it's given me the name of the current database that is being used. So what I can now do is go through the process of doing pretty much exactly the same thing that I did previously through the with SQL injection through this box. So let's go back up, because I want to keep all of this information the same. I'm going to expand this window a little bit. Let's go back, and the information that I want to grab this time is on the Damn Vulnerable web app database. I would like to list out all of the tables, and I see here ones that aren't standard SQL tables. I see here that I have guestbook and I have users. So on my damn vulnerable web app database, on my users table, I would like to list out all of the columns. So I can see here in exactly the same way I had before. I have user, avatar, failed login, first login, last name, password, and user ID. So as before, what I'm interested in is I would like to list out the user and password columns, and I'd like to dump those. So I now have the username in exactly the same way I had before, and the hash 5, the MD5 hash of the user's passwords. So I don't want to store the hashes in temporary file for further processing. I could, if I want to, attempt to crack them with a dictionary-based attack. I don't want to do that right now. And so I have the usernames and I have the MD5 hashes of those usernames. So that gives you, with SqlMap, exactly the same information that we had with our other technique of injecting directly into this window here. All that we needed to have was the ability to connect to our server with the correct cookie information. We're then able to point SqlMap to the correct URL, and SqlMap did everything for you in a much more sort of user-friendly way rather than injecting your own SQL.